What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, once again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about limited Rare Recruit Usopp, which is going to be arriving after the Capone Sugo Fest has concluded. Before we get into this banner, though, where we discuss the actual banner, the structure, and the new unit Usopp, I want to go ahead quickly to Extra Island really quick, because there is something quite exciting that is going to be arriving. So we're going to go ahead and skip all the way to the end, and there is going to be a new training forest. The Capone training forest is going to be arriving. I believe it's the 3rd or 4th of May, and that's pretty exciting. So yeah, it is confirmed. It is going to be the Capone training forest. Really awesome to hear about that, and I'll definitely be having a video breaking down that specific training forest when that does come out. But anyways, let's get into this actual information about the new limited Rare Recruit Usopp banner. So if you guys have seen my previous 2 videos, I discussed the Capone Sugo Fest, I discussed the Capone characters coming out with their Sugo Fest badge. Now, this banner, as I said, is going to be arriving on the 5th of May, or the 6th of May, and is going to be finishing on the 14th of May. The thing about that is it is kind of interesting that they decided to put it in straight after the Capone Sugo Fest, and it would have been so good if this Usopp was guaranteed in the actual Capone Sugo Fest, like what they did with Hody Jones. But the thing about this Usopp is he is a lot more useful than what the Hody Jones actually is overall, in my personal opinion anyway. Also, something I really should have talked about just a minute ago as well is when I was time traveling and I decided to go Extra Island, I did see this right here, the trusty character island, and it says there's 3 days left. Now, I'd have time traveled, I think, to the start of this banner, so likely around about the 10th or 11th of May is going to be the next treasure map. So we are expecting, Legend Zephyr to literally be arriving like a week after the Capone Sugo Fest is finished. So that's really weird. That's so quick going back to back on Legends. But anyways, let's get into the video's actual main topic, which is this Usopp banner. So, limited Rare Recruit banners, I would skip like 99% of players really shouldn't be pulling on them, but this is an interesting one because Usopp himself is so useful on the next treasure map. Like, I believe on the Japanese version, he was like one of the most useful units to have against literally the final boss against the, I think the final boss is it a Chopper character? I think it might be Chopper because the invasion unit is the treasure map lore. So anyways, let's get into the actual video. So this time, pull characters from any of the 3 classes, being Shooter, Fighter, and Free Spirit. When I see those 3, that's awesome because definitely you've got limited Rare Recruit Doflamingo and limited Rare Recruit Bonnie. Those 2 are so freaking good. I hope Doflamingo is on the banner. I know that Bonnie is a pullable unit in this banner. I didn't see if Doflamingo was here. We've got the information about Usopp. We'll discuss Usopp in a little bit. But here we have the 10+1 Rare Recruit. On the 14th of May, the counter will reset, so you can go ahead and do this again if you do want to go ahead and do that for some reason. But it says the 1st, 2nd, and 4th multi is going to be 30 Rainbow Gems. So a bunch of discounts along the way here, which is always good to see, to get those, save those gems, of course. And, I said this before as well when I was discussing, I don't remember which video it was, but if I end up doing really well on the Capone Sugo Fest, I might be doing pulls on this banner because the fact that this has a lot of really good units on it and there are so many discounts, it is extremely tempting for me personally to be pulling on it. But as I said, I don't think too many of you guys out there really should be spending your gems here. Now, it also says that on the 3rd pull, you'll be able to get a special character. The 3rd multi-pull is a guaranteed limited Rare Recruit character. Always good to see. And then obviously, as we said, after the 3rd, you've got a discount multi with the 4th. And then the 5th is a limited time, or a limited pull, limited Rare Recruit character. And it joins your crew with max level and max special level. Now, there are no additional rewards after the 5th, but as it said before, on the 14th of May, the counter will reset, so you can do 5 multis again if you do really want to go ahead and do that on the 14th of May. And it says there's no additional rewards, and this is the limited pull characters. So when it says on the 5th pull, where it's a limited pull, this is the characters that you have a chance of getting. So you've got Usopp, Don Quixote, Doflamingo. Okay, thank God he's here. That is really, really tempting now because Doflamingo is so useful. Also, you've got the Koala, and you also have Kobe. It would have been nice if limited Rare Recruit Bonnie was on this list as well, but it's still pretty good. That's a pretty good list of limited Rare Recruits. I think all of them are relatively useful here or there, so it's good to see. Now, the list below this is just a list of all of the limited Rare Recruits that you could potentially get from this banner. So we've got the new Usopp, Nefatari Vivi from the last banner, or like the last 2 banners ago, is actually on this banner as well. You've also got Don Quixote Doflamingo, who is amazing, by the way. You've got Koala, really good for fighting. fighter teams. You've got Big Eater Jewelry Bonnie, which is the best limited rare recruit in the game, hands down, like bar none. Like, this character is amazing. You've also got Kobe, which we said, Mad Monkey Rogue, which is arguably the worst one, equal with Kizaru, I believe. He's just absolutely terrible. And Burundi World is here as well. Burundi World is actually semi-useful. He's actually pretty good, and especially he's a shooter as well, works well in shooter teams. I believe he reduces barriers and maybe attack down. I don't remember exactly what he does, but he's useful. And you've got Fisher Tiger, who isn't as useful nowadays. Kizaru, who, as we said before, is terrible. And that's about it. So are there any characters different with the 4-star versions? No, they're the exact same. Okay, so a pretty good list here. Unfortunately, the two worst limited rare recruits in the game, being your Rogue and Kizaru, are both here. But on the other end, you've got like some of the best ones. Like, you've got Doflamingo, you've got Koala, you've got Bonnie. Like, there's really good characters here. And it says down below, tap the wanted poster in the bottom left hand side to see the recommended characters, which we'll be doing in a minute. Check the notice, blah blah blah. Special characters will only be available for rare recruits with notices that mention them. Only the last wanted poster on the 5th 10+1 rare recruit will come with max level and max special level. And unfortunately, we cannot see the rate at this current time. But I would assume that the new character Usopp is going to have a reduced rate, because that's just the way they like to do things. Either way, we don't really know the list of other rare recruits that are boosted. Obviously, there's limited rare recruits in the banner, but in terms of just the basic rare recruits, we can see on the banner that Vito and also Chiffon from the Capone Sugar are here as well. So if you did miss them, then, you know, there's another opportunity to get your hands on them. So now that we've done through all the structure of this specific banner, let's go ahead and discussing what this new Usopp actually does. So immediately you can see he is a Psy unit. He is a Psy shooter with no secondary class. I always like it when they do have a secondary class. It is unfortunate that he only does have one class. A lot of Usopps, I think nearly every Usopp only has one class. There might be a handful of them that aren't, you know, one class units, but it is what it is. This character with max limit break has 2325 health, 1383 attack, and 469 recovery. So, you know, kind of like Chiffon, where he has like really low health and really low attack, but recovery is actually pretty substantial. So in terms of Usopp's captain effect, he's going to go ahead and reduce damage taken by 7%, very, very good, and then also boost shooter characters' attack by 3.75 when characters attack with good, great, and then perfect order without breaking the chain. Man, I like halfway through that, had us in the first half, not gonna lie, 3.75, but only after good, great, perfect. So he's basically a shooter version of Log Luffy, essentially. That's pretty much the best way to say it. So not terrible, it's usable, definitely, but not a very good captain effect by no means. Special ability, 10 turn max cooldown after his max limit break, which is nice. He will go ahead and reduce one enemy's health by 15%. He also reduces all enemies' damage threshold, end of turn damage, and enrage effects by 7 turns. 7 turn reduction for specifically damage threshold is insane. Like, that's so useful to have. And if the enemy is immune to delay or all status effects, so that is like a delay protector or a full debuff protector, then he's going to boost your chain multiplier by 0.75 for the next 3 turns, and makes shooter characters' strength, dex, and quick orbs have matching slot effects for the next 3 turns. That is a very, very good special ability. I mean, you're not always going to get that second half of the special. If you do, that's really great. But, you know, even just the first part where you get a nice health cut and also reducing 7 turns of, you know, I'd say arguably that end of turn damage and enrage doesn't matter all that much. I would kind of agree there. But removing 7 turns of damage threshold is pretty stupid. There aren't too many characters that can reduce damage threshold by that value, so that's really nice to see. Now, in terms of his crewmate effects, he reduces characters' special bind duration by 3 turns. That's obviously really key. Would have been nice if he himself reduced special bind for other characters, but, you know, he can't go too far. That's fair enough. And his secondary one will boost the shooter character's base HP and attack by 75. So overall, man, this character is very useful, and he will definitely see more play in comparison to the limited rare recruit Hody Jones that we saw last month. It is unfortunate, but, you know, Hody Jones is a little bit more difficult to use. Hody Jones requires a lot more prep for him to get, you know, the full boost correct on your team. But this character I can definitely see a lot of people using, especially on the next treasure map where he is likely going to be boosted. It doesn't say anywhere on the banner that he is going to be boosted, but judging from what happened on Japan and what's been happening on Global so far, I think Hody Jones was boosted last treasure map as well. I would go ahead and assume that this character will also be boosted, and obviously because all of the new characters that are coming out with Sugo Fest this month are all shooter characters, so that would likely suggest that, you know, this character is going to be a useful character to have for those teams. But, you know, it's not only Usopp that's available here, and we've already gone through this banner. There's Doflamingo, there's Bonnie, there's Koala, Kobe. All of those characters are so useful for their respective teams. You know, you've got Kobe for Driven, you've got Koala for Fighters, you've got Bonnie for literally anything, Doflamingo for Shooters, and you got Usopp now for Shooters as well. So there's lots of stuff to look forward to, especially if you're a big fan of the shooter characters on Global. You guys will be a pretty big fan. You know, I am a pretty big fan of the shooter squads. You know, obviously going back to the old school days of Stronghold Ace, it's awesome to see that shooters are now, you know, back up the top, or near the top at least, with a very, very nice solid squad to take on content with. But that is going to conclude this video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.